It's 6:02. We're following breaking news out of Winston-Salem.
Crews are on the scene of a house fire. Let's step outside and take a live look from the scene from Rosemont Avenue. This is off West Clemensville Road, where you can see the extensive damage to that home.
You can see that window is pretty much busted out there. According to the Winston-Salem Fire Department, no one is hurt, but one person is without a home this morning. The cause of the fire is under investigation. No injuries reported after hazmat crews responded to a report of a gas odor. The Winston-Salem Fire Department shared this video from the scene on Concord Church Road in Lewisville around 11 last night. The fire department says that crews found an unearthed propane tank with an open valve, actively leaking liquid propane. We're told that the leak has since been controlled. It's 6:03 in our commitment coverage. North Carolina Senate Leader Phil Berger still trails Rockingham County Sheriff Sam Page after election officials completed their first recount of ballots.
Now election officials are moving forward with protests filed by the Berger campaign. Rockingham County held its machine recount yesterday. Sam Page still holds a 23-vote lead over Berger in the state Senate race.
The Rockingham County Board of Elections also held a preliminary hearing on 3 protests. It is important to note that these protests only involve 13 votes.
And because this district also covers Guilford County, the elections board there also held a preliminary hearing, the protest that Berger filed. Both the Rockingham and Guilford County boards of elections voted to move forward with full evidentiary hearings.
There's a lot on the line for both of these campaigns, and if there's legal remedies that they can pursue to make sure that they're satisfied with the vote that they got in Guilford and Rockingham County, then I do not hold any ill will towards them for exploring those possibilities.
The hearing in Rockingham County will take place on Friday, March the 27th, and the hearing in Guilford will take place on April the 6th. This morning, we're tracking 2 cases of potential measles exposures here in the Piedmont Triad.
According to state health leaders, someone from out of state who tested positive for measles stopped at the Wendy's on MLK Jr. Drive in Greensboro last Friday. Anyone who was at the restaurant between 5 and 10 p.m. may have been exposed.
There was a second possible measles exposure in Randolph County the day before. Health officials say someone traveling through the county who tested positive for measles visited the Tot Hill Farm Golf Club Pro Shop in Asheboro. Anyone who was at the shop between 8 a.m. and noon may have been exposed.
Now, since December of 2025, 24 cases of measles have been confirmed here in North Carolina. Many of the cases are related to a much larger outbreak in South Carolina. And according to that state's Department of Public Health, there have been nearly 1,000 cases of measles since last October. Last week, 5 cases were confirmed in South Carolina, down from a peak of 202 cases the week of January 11th.
With the resurgence in cases of the virus across the country, health officials are urging the community to get vaccinated.
Many doctors have not seen it because we were able to kind of just get rid of it in our society because of the vaccines.
If you should develop symptoms, don't just get up and run to the doctor's office. Pick up the phone and call your healthcare provider.
Measles symptoms typically begin 7 to 14 days after exposure, but can appear up to 21 days later as well.
Time on the clock, 6:06. President Donald Trump once again asserted the war with Iran will be over soon.
As the war sends gas prices up, the Pentagon is asking Congress for another $200 billion to keep funding the war.
And with mounting attacks on energy facilities across the Middle East, the Trump administration is under pressure to bring these gas prices down.
Alice Barr joins us now with the latest from Washington, D.C.
This morning, an oil refinery in Kuwait joining the growing list of energy sites targeted across the Middle East as Iran looks to ramp up the pain for the global economy. While Israel hammered a major Iranian gas field and President Trump threatened worse if Iran keeps attacking Gulf allies like Qatar, all with gas prices already up around 90 cents a gallon since the war began.
I thought that it would go up more than it did. But we're doing this excursion, and when it's completed, we're going to have a much safer world.
With questions mounting about how much longer the war will last, NBC News has learned the U.S. military is accelerating the deployment of thousands more Marines and sailors to the Middle East, according to 2 people familiar with the decision, who say at least 2,200 Marines are expected to deploy from San Diego in the coming days. President Trump again pressed on plans for boots on the ground.
I'm not putting troops anywhere. If I were, I certainly wouldn't tell you, but I'm not putting troops.
His administration is asking Congress for another $200 billion in wartime funding. House Speaker Mike Johnson backing the president's approach.
I think the mission is all but complete.
Asked why then the military needs billions more.
It's a dangerous time in the world, and we have to adequately fund defense.
Democratic leadership pointing to rising prices, not just gas, but jet fuel and mortgage rates.
Let's focus on bringing down housing costs, bringing down health care costs.
Promising another effort to rein in the president's war powers, a move Republicans have called dangerous and so far blocked. Leaders of the European Union met Thursday to address surging energy prices. Some showed a willingness to help ships pass through that embattled oil route, the Strait of Hormuz, but are calling for hostilities to die down first. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
New overnight, NASA's rollout of the Artemis II rocket launch is now underway.
It comes after a 4-hour delay because of the wind. You're taking a live look now over Kennedy Space Center in Florida. The rollout officially began just before 12:30 this morning. The 4-mile trek is expected to take up to 12 hours. You see the camera zooming in right there to where that rocket is moving to, Kara.
And officials hope to lift off the first week of April after fixing an issue with the flow of helium in the rocket. Artemis II will carry 4 astronauts on an historic 10-day test flight around the moon, including North Carolina native Christina Cook. The astronauts are currently in quarantine ahead of takeoff.
6:09, very few perfect brackets survived the first day of the NCAA tournament, Kara.
A lot of mixed emotions for many people this morning, Wanye. The first round of the men's tournament tipped off with a pair of Cinderella candidates emerging and a very close call for the number overall seed. The Blue Devils are the betting favorite to win the men's tournament, but Duke barely escaped the round of 64 with a 71-65 win over Siena. They move on to face TCU tomorrow night.
And for a second straight season, North Carolina's tournament run has ended in the first round. The 6-seeded Tar Heels led by as many as 19 points at one point, but the VCU Rams scored 12 straight points and rallied to force overtime, ultimately winning the game 82-78. The Rams will face Illinois in the second round.
And as we mentioned, it did not take long for Cinderella to enter the building. The High Point University Panthers upset the Wisconsin Badgers 83-82, picking up their first ever March Madness win. HPU moves on to face Arkansas in the second round tomorrow. Meanwhile, first round games in the women's basketball tournament tip off today.
Duke and Carolina women will host the first 2 rounds in the Triangle. The 3-seed Blue Devils will play this afternoon against Charleston. The 4-seeded Tar Heels will play this afternoon, taking on Western Illinois.
The Wolfpack come in as a 7th seed to take on 10th seed Tennessee tonight in Ann Arbor. High Point takes to the court Saturday at 7 against Vanderbilt.